on Correct Animation 4 with Permeability Explosive Light, 97 reload speed. If you transition from this to this, same reload, Explosive Light, and Clown. So by changing one perk, Permeability, to Clown, you gain 24% more DPS and you lose 2.4% damage. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I actually have made this video earlier before the update, but here I am making it right now. So the subject will be spreading knowledge about some underground changes that Bungie have done to Permeability, FoeTracer, Surge mods, and the weapon that will be the subject of the study today is Correct Animation 4 because it can roll with Permeability. This video I'll be covering the changes that Bungie did low-key back when they nerfed Celestial Nighthawk and how it affects Correct Animation 4. You guys will see that Permeability is no longer worth the pick in the third column instead of Clown cartridge. So we will be covering damage numbers in this video from Permeability Clown Explosive Light, Clown Permeability Surrounded, Permeability Clown Bipod, and we have Permeability Base. You guys will be seeing the overall damage and the DPS numbers after the changes. So first, let's start from the basic. What was going on and what did Bungie nerf? So Bungie nerfed Surge times 7 stacking. I will explain it very fast for those of you who doesn't know what I'm talking about. So we have 3 Surge mods here on the boots. The way you get the damage buff from these, make sure the element matches the weapon, and then you make sure to pick armor charges. You either make Orbs of Power with Siphon mods, you pick them up, that will give you armor charges, and armor charges will give you a damage bonus depending on how many Surge mods you have in the boots, and duration depends on how many time dilation mods you have on the class item. 3 Surge mods is a 1.22 multiplier of your damage if the element matches. Previously, people were doing some shenanigans to achieve bugged Surge times 7. Surge times 2, I think, is 17%. Surge times 3 is 22%. Surge times 4 from exotics is 25%. But Surge times 7 is not like 30 or 40. It's crazy. It's 2 multipliers. It's 1.22 from the first 3 stack of Surge mods and then a second multiplier from 4 Surge mods. So it's 1.22 multiplier times 1.25 afterwards. It was bugged, and the way people used to do this was, so basically they pick Orbs of Power, they get armor charges, they already have the damage buff from the 3 Surge mods. Afterwards they equip the gun, they use the class ability to proc Permeability, so the element of the gun will change and will match their subclass. Usually people do this on Stasis because on Stasis you have 2 shurikens, and that will allow you to refresh buff. I will speak about refreshing the buff in a sec. So usually people do this on Stasis because of the 2 shurikens, but you can also do it on Solar because of your on your mark buff that will buff your handling, reload multiplier for you and your team. You also have Restoration and Radiant on demand on the Solar sub. People also tend to do it on Strand because of Thread of Ascent that will reload your gun on nade usage, and nade usage will proc FoeTracer once the duration ends. So there is no real best subclass for this. It depends on the scenario, and we will talk about some more details once we get to my notepad in the second part of the video. So again, slowly but surely, get Orbs of Power, have the Surge mods active, and then have the weapon equipped. I will show you in a sec. And then you dodge to proc Permeability. Dodging will make, for example, Correct Examination Solar from Arc, and then you hit the boss or the champion with some ability damage, aka knife or maybe like a grenade. That will give you a solar damage bonus from FoeTracer, Surge times 4 bonus. So since the rocket launcher was Arc, it will still benefit from the previous 3 Surge mods on your boots, and then the future element Solar will also benefit from the buff from FoeTracer. Therefore, you have 2 multipliers. We call it Surge times 7 bucket. That's how people used to do it. I will show you here on Carl just how people were doing it. So I am not charged with light. I don't have armor charges, but I will still show you. So basically have the rocket launcher equipped, dodge to make it solar, as you can see on the bottom left of my screen, and then damage him with an ability. You get Surge times 4, and then boom. And to refresh the duration, you will have to reuse an ability. So I will just run away from the ads just so. This was pre-Celestial Nighthawk nerfs. So what have changed recently? Recently, Bungie made that the previous Surge mods will no longer stack with FoeTracer. So instead of getting 2 multipliers, you only get 1, which is the highest, which is FoeTracer times 1.25. So if you do all this shenanigan right now after the patch, you gain 3% more damage, because here multiplier from 3 Surge mods is 1.22. If you get FoeTracer instead, is 1.25. So here you have only 3% more damage. And if you guys are interested of knowing which will result in higher DPS, is it Clown that reloads 2 rockets at a time, or Permeability with FoeTracer that has 3% more damage per shot? So here I'll show you guys the damage numbers here quickly on my note. The thing that most people don't know about FoeTracer is that you'll have to tag a specific type of enemies. They have to be powerful, like elite, champion, boss, and it will give you times search times 4 for 10 seconds. And the duration, 10 seconds from FoeTracer, will not scale, and you will not get more if you have time dilation mods on your class item. It will always be 10 seconds. The way to get more duration from FoeTracer is to reproc it, not refresh the timer. You cannot refresh the timer when it's active. You will have to wait for it to end to then reproc it. Easiest way to do it is to have 2 grenades here on Strand with Widow Silk, and then Thread of Ascent will give you your shot back when you nade. So you shoot the rocket launcher, for example, reload, shoot, reload. Once FoeTracer duration ends, you can throw a nade that will not only reproc FoeTracer for you if the thread links tags the boss, and will also reload your gun, making your DPS better. And you can also do it on stasis. You have 2 shurikens and you also have a nade, so the 2 shurikens will guarantee that you will have 20 seconds of search times 4 if you are rocking FoeTracer in a boss damage scenario. So that's the subclass different. And now we're back to my notepad. So it depends which subclass you go in. Solar have good super. Here Strand has dog super. So the solar super is way better than the surround super in boss damage scenarios. So basically, if you dodge on solar, you proc permeability, and then you get bonus handling, reload speed multiplier for you and your teammates. For Strand, you get 2 nades that will be able to proc FoeTracer twice, and they will reload your gun. The reload handling and reload multiplier are less than on your mark, but keep in mind, throwing a nade will insta reload your gun for you, and you have 2 nades to proc FoeTracer on demand. So it's give or take, better or worse. So now to calculate DPS and damage, we need the damage numbers and how many rockets we have, the time required to fire them. You'll have 7, I think, with no reserve mods, but if you have all 3, have 3 of them, your crew acceleration 4 will get 10 rockets. Time required to fire all 10 rockets that will be universal on all subclasses on Hunter with FoeTracer can be achieved if you are sending in a Lunafaction well. The difference will be very minimal, because Lunafaction boosts you to the max basically. So that will look like this. So with Lunafaction, 10 rockets with Clown cartridge will be fired in 15.5. Lunafaction, 10 rockets with Permeability, no Clown cartridge, will be fired in almost 20 seconds. Here I wanted to answer, is Permeability worth the pick instead of Clown cartridge after the nerfs? The answer is clearly no, but I want to see how much exactly damage we are losing. So this is why I did all this math and all the shenanigans. So we have bipod, base, explosive light, and surrounded numbers here with FoeTracer, and these are the damage numbers with 3 surge mods, no FoeTracer. So we talk DPS, we talk overall damage, and then we arrive to the final conclusion very fast in this video, so I don't make it that long. I don't want to stretch it out. So DPS talk. DPS talk, bipod achieves 57,000 DPS, base achieves 77,000 DPS, explosive light achieves 96,000 DPS, surrounded FoeTracer will achieve 104,000 DPS. This is possible if you proc it twice, because the time required to fire 10 rockets will require to refresh FoeTracer with a shuriken or with a nade. So you need to refresh FoeTracer to achieve these numbers, and you need to do it fast. So notice how DPS here is higher than the above numbers. 57,000 here we have 71, 77 here we have 95, 96,000 with explosive light we have here 119, 104 with surrounded FoeTracer, that goes to 130 with surrounded clown cartridge. So I'll try to put a graph on the screen so you guys will see the difference between DPS and also damage between permeability and clown cartridge, permeability FoeTracer, clown cartridge, with anything you want basically in the game. And I went ahead and I calculated the percentage of DPS gain from permeability to clown, and I also calculated the overall damage loss from permeability to clown, and it is as follows. With bipod, if you go from permeability FoeTracer to just clown cartridge, you get 24% more DPS, 2.4% less damage, and this is basically the same on all the perks, which is fascinating. I like this. Alright, so back to the game so I can show you this, and it's really cool. Here, if you have the same exact roll on Correct Extermination 4 with Permeability Explosive Light, 97 reload speed, if you transition from this to this, same reload, Explosive Light, and Clown. So by changing one perk, Permeability, to Clown, you gain 24% more DPS and you lose 2.4% damage. Same applies if you transition from Permeability Surrounded to Clown Surrounded. You gain 24% more DPS and you lose 2.4% damage. What you are also gaining here, and you don't see it, is the ease of use. Clown is just very easy to use. You just dump a rocket, reload so you get 2 in the mag, and then rally. And every time you reload 2 per reload, which is very easy. You don't have to set it up. You don't have to worry about refreshing FoeTracer. FoeTracer's duration is 10 seconds, and if you have 3 time dilations with max armor charges, that's basically almost a minute. So the ease of use of Clown Surges is way better than FoeTracer, Shenanigans, and Permeability on all the roles on Correct Extermination 4. So hopefully this video was informative. I hope you guys learned something about Permeability. It is no longer worth it. The only reason why it was worth the pickup, worth crafting on Doom Executioner, for example, is because it was bugged and was getting us search time 7, but it is no longer the case. It is now trash. Thank you for watching. See you on my next one, and peace.